Hello, I'm back again. Away from a second time of YouTube taking my channel down. This video is supposed to serve as just a explainer for how my experience was in the second time being taken down, and talk about how this might be something that could be avoided by YouTube as well, plus some other really juicy information that what you may not have heard, but you may have heard rumblings of. So let's go back to the first time that the channel got taken down. The days leading up to the channel being taken down, Lee and I, he's behind the camera right here, edits every single video. We had the genius idea of having a 24-hour live stream where you could basically just stream all of the podcast episodes non-stop, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And anyone who wants to just drop in or have XRP information in the background could just listen to that podcast. It was a great idea, very nice, very simple. 2 days later, the channel went down, and basically the whole world went, it felt like the whole world went in uproar that I got my channel taken. What was interesting is that there was so much attention on Twitter. Everyone was so angry and frustrated about all of this. But really, that frustration and fear occupied maybe 10 minutes for me. I kind of felt like, I can't believe this has happened, what am I going to do? For 10 minutes. And what was really interesting, and the point of this is to actually be very honest about everything, is that there was actually a sense of relief that the channel got taken down and I was kind of free. It was a very strange way of thinking about it. I didn't expect that feeling. I think that appeals to the side of me that wants to, when my job is done, when the assets have gone up, your assets have gone up, everyone's transitioned into that wealth management phase of their life, that I kind of just like disappear into the background. There's a strange appeal there for me, because it's not easy being on the camera or all the time, and everything you've said on a topic is recorded, and it's just kind of the expectation of being on camera is quite tough, and people don't really expect that until you do it, and then you're like, oh, I have to be on the screen now. It has its benefits, of course, like when we went to New York, and that was awesome because people recognized me where faceless channels weren't being recognized, and so that's a really nice part of it. But when the channel got taken down, there was a 10-minute panic. I stopped worrying about it, and what I set more of my effort doing was actually thinking, okay, how do I remove my reliance on YouTube now? Like what can I do here that actually, that isn't clothing, that isn't some random project just as like a money grab. I don't want to do that. I want to actually provide some value. So that's where I came up with the Mastermind. And the Mastermind actually does provide value. It actually is something that's needed by everyone. And the Mastermind really was a move away from YouTube. The Mastermind's been very successful, and I've had to have less reliance on YouTube. I'll say less reliance because I still really need it. But there's less reliance on YouTube now after the Mastermind. And I don't know if that's going to be surprising for anyone here watching this to hear that the thing that I started, my YouTube channel being taken down, didn't really scare me in any way. And it's because, and this is a whole other conversation, but I'll only touch into it. My business isn't just the YouTube channel. It started there, and it certainly stems from there as it filters down to the rest of the business. But while I've been making content and doing my best to put 3 videos out a week, the 95% of my time, aside from filming, has been growing the business as its own business. And the frustrating part of that is that you don't see 95% of what I do. And so it kind of, I can imagine it would be a surprise when I say, the YouTube channel being down wasn't scary for me this time. Well, hopefully you can see why now. The business has grown to a point where I can react like that, and it's kind of justified. We were in Italy filming for a project. You're going to hear all about that. It's really exciting. And if you're in the Mastermind, you actually get the opportunity to get some incentives there as well. So one morning when I woke up on this filming trip in Italy, just got the notification on my phone saying that the channel has been taken down again. So that's the second time that it's happened. And this time was a really interesting one because didn't really feel much. It was almost like an extension of the last time that it happened, where I had 10 minutes of panic and then it was kind of a bit of relief. It was almost just the relief part this time, and there was no real panic. I think that lack of panic came from, well, I've established the business in different ways now that relies less on YouTube. But it's also acknowledging the fact that I know I've done nothing wrong, so it's going to come back. So we were just going on about our business, and woke up, the channel was gone. And just like the first time, there was no explanation. YouTube sends you an email that basically says you've gone against community guidelines for like unsafe or unsecure content or something like that. And that's really as far as it goes. There's no deeper level of acknowledgement of what's caused the problem. What's also interesting is that 2 weeks prior to getting cancelled the second time, we started a 24-hour live stream to play the podcast non-stop. Just like last time, we had a QR code on that video. The QR code only linked to a page where people could access the Mastermind or sign up to the newsletter. There's no scam involved, but when you look at the live stream, you see a live stream about XRP, and then you also see a QR code. I can see what's happened there. I can see the perception of what that looks like to someone who's maybe seen that Brad Garlinghouse scam where there was a whole Ripple channel and it was live and there was Brad Garlinghouse talking and there was a QR code and they were scamming people. It looked like that, but that wasn't the intention of our video to look anything like that. It just kind of accidentally happened. And I think what has happened is that people have just reported it thinking it's immediately a scam just because of how it looked, and the channel gets taken down. Now the problem is the channel gets taken down, and that's it. You get a little email saying that you've gone against the guidelines, but no further information. I had my suspicions as to what happened because I realized that the second time we put the live stream up, we got cancelled again. So that made sense, and especially from the visual side of things, it all looked like that's what people were probably reporting. But last time the channel came back in 2 days. This time, what was it? A week? Just over a week maybe? No, a week. Channel came back in a week this time, but with no extra communication. It's not like we didn't have much communication last time because it was just 2 days, and that over a week we actually probably would have had more communication. It was actually the same amount as we had last time, which was basically nothing. If you as a creator don't go to YouTube to ask what's happening, they won't contact you. And even when you do contact them, they just say you have to wait for the appeal process. Interestingly, last time I threatened with legal action because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong, and it got fixed straight away. And this time I threatened with legal action, and 2 days later it came back. So whether it was the legal action threat or not, I don't know. So I want to make some suggestions to YouTube, and you can clip this and send this to them, but I doubt they're going to watch this video anyway because I don't think they care. YouTube really should provide more evidence of what they're cancelling people for. And if they're cancelling people and taking channels down, if that's the avenue they want to take without kind of any notice or justification, they have to let you know which videos have been the problematic videos, because otherwise you're just guessing. You don't know what you've done. You don't know if you've said something in the comments. You don't know if someone's clicked a scam link in the description and then reported your video for someone else's scam comment. You just don't know what it could be. Or it could actually be harmful content. But what I would suggest is that if there is a specific video that is problematic or has been reported X amount of times, just take that video down and keep the rest of the channel up, because a lot of people like me who are creating content for people, and actually that's the full-time job, it's the livelihood. You can't just take it down. Lee mentioned an analogy for this earlier. It's kind of like if the government just came into your shop, your brick and mortar shop, and just said, hey, it's closed now, and then they just left. They took away the key, locked the door, and then said, that's it. And then 2 weeks later come back and just give you the key back without any explanation. It just makes no sense to do it like that. But if there was a product in that shop that needed to be recalled, right? You just recall that product and not take down the rest of the shop. It makes no sense the way they do it. In the court, it's innocent until proven guilty, and it's just the opposite of that, whatever that looks like on YouTube. So there are really phases to a YouTube channel and a business that's grown from YouTube. The first phase is audience growth. There's a game you play with YouTube to get that audience growth. You try and find, really, really important information, and you kind of hype that as much as you can. And I say all of that to say is that I'm not in that phase anymore. I'm not in the phase of, let's make this the most exciting thing ever. What I'm in the phase of is maintaining a reputation, being professional. You will have seen the change in my clothes even from the New York trip. It's just because I'm in a different phase of the business here. I'm also saying that to say I'm not trying to actively pump up my numbers here, because it's not all of my business like it was. And I'm also not saying that I was trying to pump numbers before. I was trying to always deliver valuable information, but I was certainly leaning more into, let's play the game of YouTube and create a dramatic thumbnail and make the title as dramatic as possible and the intro, and there's a whole game you can play. And while that game is really important just to maintain viewership even still, it's not a driving factor in the content. And so I hope you can appreciate how that's really not the case anymore, considering my business has grown outside of the YouTube channel. So the juicy information, and this is very juicy, and I'm not even actually sure how much I'm supposed to say here, but I will sprinkle in some information. While this cancellation has happened and other people's channels have been taken down, rumblings have been happening in secret rooms. And I've been in some of those rooms. And it's even been all over Twitter. People have been talking about it all over Twitter, basically saying, we can't have our creators relying on YouTube like this. There needs to be another option. Whether that's, Rumble, which Rumble's kind of like a nice backup, but as a user and as a creator, I don't really like using Rumble. But it's a good platform for what it's trying to do. There's a better way to do it though. Then you've got Odyssey, and there's all kinds of like blockchain related YouTube versions. But I don't think any of them are scratching the itch that needs to be scratched. And so I do know that there are conversations happening about a way that we can separate from YouTube. But what I will say is that while that's very, very interesting, it's not about the creators that go onto this platform. It's not about that big marketing shift. It's actually more about you deciding, I'm not going to watch my crypto content on YouTube, I'm going to watch it on this new place. Because the only way that a business like that, like a platform like that, works is with an audience. You need viewers for that stuff. And yes, it would be decentralized, all on the blockchain, and the payment would be made on blockchain, so it can't be cancelled by a bank. It would be kind of free speech central in that capacity. But with any platform where videos exist, the viewers are absolutely fundamental. So we're not there yet. It hasn't happened. The conversations have started though. And so I want you to prepare your brain basically to fit in space for another platform that might have the truth of the information that, especially in this niche, is sharing at heart, rather than just the way YouTube are doing things. There's a better way to do it, and conversations have started. So I know many of you have said in the comments on all social media saying, where is your channel gone? I can't see it. I actually was updating and uploading information and videos on another channel. I mentioned this channel a while ago. It's called Altcoin Advantage. The purpose of that channel isn't really to talk about XRP specifically like this channel has been. It's actually supposed to be talking about altcoins and educating about, for that small bag that you might have to trade and take advantage of speculation in the altcoin market. That channel was supposed to be for that. But in the meantime, since my channel's been down, I've been posting. I actually posted 3 videos, 2 Uphold videos. One was an interview with the CEO, and the other one was an explainer about what Uphold Vault was. And another one was just a run-of-the-mill video that would usually happen on the main channel. So if you haven't seen those videos and you want to see what I did kind of last week in terms of videos, you can go to Altcoin Advantage. The link is in the description. You can also just type Altcoin Advantage by Lewis Jackson in the search bar. So to summarize, this experience has not been the best, but what it has done from a business perspective is forced me to think outside the box, really try to provide value outside of just videos. And as the business has grown and will continue to grow in 2024, it's also likely that the content will mold as well to what's happening. So with all that said, thank you for the support on this channel. If you've been here for the 2 years now that it's existed, thank you very, very much. Thanks for coming back after my second cancellation. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. But if it does, there are other avenues where you can get that content as well, and that's all part of the planning process and the learning curve of being cancelled twice. So look out for new videos on altcoin advantage, and also videos back on this channel now again as well. Stay emotionless. I'll see you in the next one.